Dear students, in the last video, I had derived the expression for the wave function psi n, and also we obtained the expression for energy eigenvalues. We got psi n after normalization. We got psi n, the wave function associated with the particle in the nth state, as square root of 2 by L sine n pi x by L, and the energy function En is n square h square by 8m L square. This expression we got. This about the wave function associated with the particle and the energy function, energy value associated with the particle in one-dimensional box. And the wave function in the nth energy state, it is given by root of 2 by L sine n pi x by L. And see here, this is the one-dimensional potential well. And when the particle is in the ground state, corresponding value is n equal to 1. And the energy possessed by the particle is the minimum 1. H square by 8m L square is the minimum energy possessed by the particle in the ground state. And the wave function psi n, when the particle is in the ground state, it will be of this type. When it goes to the first excited state, that is n equal to 2. First excited state, n equal to 2, then wave function is this. These things let us discuss later, how we get this one. And n equal to 3, this will be the wave function. The wave function associated with the particle will be different in different energy levels. The particle possesses different energies in different energy levels. Now let us plot, or let us find out the wave function and probability curves. The curve corresponding to different wave functions and curves corresponding to the probability density. For this, let us consider the expression psi n given by this, and probability density function is mod psi n square given by this. These are the functions, the expressions. Using this, let us plot the curves corresponding to wave function as well as the probability density. Consider the first state, the ground state. N is 1. The particle inside the box with n equal to 1. Then, what about psi 1? Here it is, n is 1. Psi 1 is root 2 by L sine pi x by L. What about psi 1 square, 2 by L sine square pi x by L? These are the wave functions. Wave function and the probability function corresponding to n equal to 1. Now, at x equal to 0, what about psi 1? Sine 0, 0. Psi 1 square is also 0. X equal to L by 2. Suppose x equal to L by 2. X equal to L by 2 means the exact midpoint of the box. X equal to L by 2, midpoint of the box. Then, what about psi 1? What this becomes? Root 2 by L sine. Substitute x as L by 2. You get sine pi by 2. Sine pi by 2, 1. So that you get psi 1 as root 2 by L. What about psi 1 square? Sorry, it is 2 by L. Not 0, it is 2 by L. Psi 1 square is 2 by L. Square of this, 2 by L. Now, take another point x. That is extreme, x equal to L. Here see, x equal to 0. Midpoint, x equal to L by 2. Here, x equal to L. When x equal to L, what do you get here? X is L means L gets cancelled. Sin pi, it is again 0. So, psi 1 0, psi 1 square 0. Now, plot the curve. When you plot it, see, psi versus x, you get a curve of this type. At x equal to 0, psi is 0. At the midpoint, x equal to L by 2, psi is maximum. What's the maximum value? The value corresponding to this value, this maximum is root 2 by L. Psi becomes root 2 by L. And x equal to L, 0. So, this is the shape of the wave function. Or this is the curve corresponding to that wave function in the first state, that's the ground state. Psi square means square of this. This maximum value becomes the square. It is 2 by L. That's all. This is root 2 by L, 2 by L, square of this. Difference is just the magnitude is more than this. Now, n equal to 2. N equal to 2 is first excited state. In the similar manner, as we discussed in the previous case, n equal to 1. Let us find out psi 2 corresponding to different values of x as well as psi 2 mod psi2 square for different values of x. X equal to 0. What about psi2? Psi2 will be 0. X 0 means 0. Psi2 square is also 0. X equal to now first limit. So here we have the wave function n equal to 2, so that the width L, 0 to L, we divide that one into 4 equal parts as L by 4, 2L by 4, that is L by 2, 3L by 4 and L. And find out psi2 corresponding to these values of L by substituting that x value in this expression. Now x is L by 4. Substitute here L by 4. So L cancels, you have to get sin pi by 2. So when x equal to L by 4, phi 2 is sin pi by 4, sorry, pi by 2, that is 1. So you get phi 2 as root 2 by L. Phi 2 square is 2 by L. Now x equal to L by 2, the midpoint. X L by 2, what do you get? Sin pi, 0. So psi 2 square 0. X 3L by 4, 3L by 4, what do you get? Sin, it is, x is 3L by 4 means 3, you get 3 pi by 2. Here you get 3 pi by 2. So it is minus. So minus root 2 by L. Then psi 2 square 2 by L. When you plot, you get this. Plot psi versus x. Here mod psi 2, sorry, psi 2 it is, psi 2 square versus x. You get this. And psi 2 square, square means both the values are positive. So the curve in the positive y-axis only. Here it is in the negative, here it is, both are positive. This is about the probability curves and wave function curves corresponding to n equal to 2. In a similar manner, for n equal to 3. See, I have given it in detail here for n equal to 3, next excited state. In this case, what we do? We divide the interval 0 to L into 6 equal parts like this. You try to plot yourselves. I have given the values and you get the curves like this. Here we divide the entire, that 0 to L interval into 6 equal parts like this. See, everything I have given it detail, just go through it. And you get the curves as this. This is for psi 3, this is for mod psi 3 square. This is about the plotting of the curves for wave function as well as probability density. Now, consider the particle in a 3-dimensional box. See, previous discussion, it is only for particle in 1-dimensional box. The particle is in motion along x direction. Now, suppose the particle is inside a 3-dimensional box. 3-dimensional means it has got both, all the three, length, breadth and height. Three dimensions. Now, the particle is in motion in space. It is in motion in 3 dimensions. Let Lx, Ly, Lz be the dimensions of the given box. And the particle is now confined in this box. Now, let us find out the wave function associated with the particle as well as the energy eigenvalues. The expression for energy also when it is in 3-dimensional box. Here, derivation is not there. Just we get the expressions using the expressions corresponding to particle in 1-dimensional box. Using these two, we get this. So now, the wave function associated with the particle in 3-dimensional box is given by this, the product of the terms. So you see the difference here. The dimensions for x corresponding to x, we have the dimension is Lx and the quantum number is Nx. Just note of the difference. For the dimension Ly, quantum number is Ny. Dimension Lz, quantum number is Nz. So the product of these three gives the wave function psi n in 3 dimensions. Energy function expression is given by this. We add the 3 terms corresponding to Nx, Ny and Nz. These are the wave function and energy expression associated with the particle in 3-dimensional box. Suppose the box is a cubical one. Cubical means all the sides are equal. All the sides are having the same dimension. Say L. Lx equal to Ly equal to Lz. Say L. Then, whatever the energy function, this one becomes, here say, Lx, Ly, Lz. All are taken as L. So that h square by 8ml square is common inside nx square plus ny square plus nz square. This is the expression for energy and the particle is in a cubical box. Suppose the particle is in the ground state. When the particle is in the ground state, now all the three are having the value. All these three quantum numbers are 1 each. All the three are 1. Nx1, Ny1, Nz also 1. So what is E now? E11. Energy is nothing but energy of the particle in the ground level, E11, given by h square by 8ml square into 1 plus 1 plus 1. It is 3h square by 8ml square. And this is the minimum energy possessed by the particle in three-dimensional box, in the ground state. So whatever the wave function associated with this energy level, psi 11. It's given by psi 11 here. This is L, psi. So this one is sine pi x by L, root 2 by Ly, sine pi y by L, root 2 by Lz, sine pi z by L. That's the wave function associated with the particle in the ground state. One energy value, only one energy state and one wave function. Now, let us consider the first excited state. First excited state. Consider the first excited state. Means excitation is from 1 to 2. The level 1 to 2. Now what are the quantum numbers? The quantum numbers will be the possible values of Nx, Ny, and Z we have to find out. So when there is excitation from 1 to 2. See, these are the possibilities. From 1, the possible values of Nx, Ny, and Z are 1, 1, 2 or 1, 2, 1 or 2, 1, 1. And for all these are the three states. So for the given state n equal to 2, we have excited state n equal to 2, we have three states. And all these three states, say, having the same energy. Why same energy? 1 plus 1 plus 2. 1, 2, 1 plus 2 plus 1. 2 plus 1, all the same. So that all these three levels, states are different. For a given excited state 2, there are three different states, the levels having the same energy value. What about the wave functions? Energy value remains same, and the corresponding wave functions, it will be psi 112, psi 121, psi 211. Wave functions are different. Say, three different wave functions having the same value of energy. The first excited state having three energy states, values different, remain the same, but different wave functions. This phenomenon is called degeneracy. Degeneracy of the energy states. Degeneracy means the phenomena in which the different energy states, they exist, having different wave functions, but energy value remains same. This is called degeneracy. Existence of different energy states corresponding to the given energy level, given energy state. Here we considered, in the example, we consider the excited state 2. For that, there exist different energy states having the same value, energy value, but wave functions are different. This is called degeneracy. So, in the three-dimensional box, the lowest energy state, the ground state, it is non-degenerate. Single state. There exists only one state having the same energy, having only one wave function. So this is not degenerate. It's a non-degenerate state. Degeneracy is not there. It doesn't split. But first excited state, it is threefold. For that excited state, there are three different energy states having the same value. That's important. Energy value remains the same. So it is threefold degenerate. If you consider the next one means 3. Make the combinations, you will find that there will be 6 different energy states having the same energy value, 14h square by 8ml square, having different wave functions, 6 wave functions. Just try that combination. Just try it and see. So, what is degeneracy? It is a number of independent quantum states or wave functions for a given value of energy. Number of independent quantum states or wave functions for a given value of energy. This is called degeneracy or degree of degeneracy. Now let us compare the classical theory and quantum theory. So till now we discussed the energy of the particle in one-dimensional box as per the quantum theory. Now what difference do we find between the classical theory and quantum theory is, first one, as per quantum theory or according to classical theory, energy possessed by the particle, nothing but the electron, it is continuous one. The electron or the particle can have energy from 0 to infinity. Any value it can have when it is in motion. Whereas quantum theory, what it says, energy of the particle, it is quantized, En proportional to n square. According to classical theory, the particle can have minimum energy, that is 0 also, but as per quantum theory, minimum energy cannot be 0. What's the minimum energy? H square by 8mL square. Third difference is, in case of classical theory, there the particle, particle is not bounded, no restriction for the particle. Already we have seen about the free particle. So there, the particle can be found anywhere. See, if you consider the box, the particle, according to the classical theory, you can find the particle with the equal probability anywhere, everywhere, at any point inside the box. There is no chance in finding the particle. At one point it is more, at one point, at another point it is less. Such a thing does not exist in case of classical theory. But in quantum theory, we consider the probability of finding the particle there inside the box. At some point, probability of finding the particle is more. At some point, probability of finding the particle is less. This is what happens in quantum theory. And as per quantum theory, the particle, the wave associated with the moving particle is considered as a standing wave. You know the meaning standing wave. A standing wave, how it is produced? When two identical waves, when they travel in opposite directions and superposed, the standing waves are produced. So there, in case of standing wave or stationary wave, also called as stationary wave, there are points known as nodes and antinodes. Nodes are the points where the maximum displacement of the particle is 0. Antinodes are the point where the displacement of the particle is maximum. So, in quantum theory, probability of finding the particle at some point, it is maximum. That point is called antinode. The probability of finding the particle is 0 or its minimum. That point is called node. This is about the difference between classical theory and the quantum theory. With this, I stop here.